Greetings, this is Carl. I thought it would be fun to give you a little taste of what it's like to be in the room with me writing. Sometimes we refer to this as the writer's room. And one thing I wanted to do was just walk you through one little trick. Well, actually, it's sort of two little tricks that I use to get writing done. Now, what you need to know is I work really closely with a world-class editor. It's somebody who's even a really good writer. Like that's my version of like good. An old-fashioned editor is actually a really good writer. They're just really good at helping you capture what you're trying to get down on the page, right? So let's just call my editor for this project Lisa. Now, so we would get an essay up, and then we would work through it. And I wanted to walk you through the work through it part because getting the essay up, I think going from blank page to essay up, there's all sorts of tricks. I mean, my favorite one is just speak. Anytime I'm stuck on a blank page, I'll literally like close the computer and grab. I learned this when I was trying to teach my son, when I was helping my son with his homework, because he would struggle with this blank page, and I would just close his computer and say, no, just talk to me. Tell me what you want to say. And I taught him that because I used to do that. I would just close the computer when I would get frustrated and just say, no, like this. And now it's so easy because you just grab your phone, hit voice memo on the iPhone, hit record, and just talk. Then from there you can get a transcription or give it to somebody who transcribes things, or give it to a really good editor that knows your voice. They're literally listening to your voice, and tell them the goal is to capture what I said. The goal isn't to change what I said, right? So those are some tricks for getting from blank page. Now let's just pretend like you've got a rough draft down. However you got it there, you've got a rough draft. One of the things that I do is as I read it, I've just learned it's a feeling, but I don't think it's hard to learn. Like as I read it, any place where I get hung up, like that's the word I use, any place where I get hung up, sometimes I call it the sticky bits. Anytime when I run into a sticky bit, where I'm just like, and it may be that the sentence is just funny. It may be that I don't understand the word exactly. It may be that I get a little lost. It may be that the word I said when I was speaking it feels different when it was written, but you just know, you're just like, you get hung up right there. That's the first trick that I use. I've noticed anytime I get hung up on something, and it's still hard, even in the Volume 2 project, I found myself being like, oh, that's fine. And then I would come back and I'd be like, nope, I'm hung up there again. Because I don't want the reader to get hung up. Now that doesn't mean I don't want the reader to be confronted with something they need to think about. I do intentionally want that to happen. But I don't want there to be confusion. And maybe the best word for this is distraction. I want to eliminate any distraction from the point. Okay, so that's one little trick I wanted to share with you. And then the other thing that we do a lot of is taking stuff out. So remember, perfection is not achieved when there's nothing left to add. It's a quote from The Little Prince, I believe. Perfection is not achieved when there's nothing left to add, but when there's nothing left to take away. So one of the exercises I routinely engage in is we will cut an entire sentence and just move it down the page, a couple page breaks down so you can't even see it, and then see how it feels with it gone. Literally remove. And I like to go through that exercise almost with every word. You don't have to physically move, on the computer move every word, but in your head you can. And then you'll run across whole sentences, whole paragraphs that just aren't needed. And again, the type of writing I do is in service of a single idea. So each of these essays are supposed to be about a single idea. So what can we remove? We want as little writing as possible, but no less. And that's the key. As little as possible, but no less. So it's not like this project's so great because we didn't have a word count in mind. We literally just said it could be 4 pages if that's what it takes. None of them did, right? or it could be 4 words if that's what it takes. And some of them did that. So there's a couple secrets that we play around with in the writer's room all the time. Those 2 things come up all the time. Where does Carl get hung up? And what could we remove? Cheers, my friends. I hope that's helpful.